Tonight, we're going to talk the greatest basketball player of all time. You know, and it really comes down to, you know, Michael and LeBron. We've always heard that. But, you know, when around North Dakota, I hear the name Larry Bird a lot.
Yeah.
So, you know, what are your thoughts? Michael, LeBron, Larry Bird, or is there another in your mind?
You know, I'll be a Michael guy. You know, it's tough because, you know, it's a team sport and everybody just kind of, you know, equates it to championships. That's what everybody says. And, you know, unfortunately with LeBron, he's been to, what, 10 championships, only won, what is it, 4 or whatever, 3, 4. I'm a Michael Jordan guy, and, you know, I remember my cousins were big Bulls fans, especially back in the day. Just the clutch play and the dominance and it's just the way he was able to do it. I mean, there's so many other, I would say this, so basketball's a lot, you know, it's not as cut and dry as I think as other sports because like you said, there's so many other great players. Like Kobe Bryant was unbelievable, Magic Johnson, you know, you talk about
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, statistics.
You know, big man, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, you go talk about back in the day, you know, Wilt Chamberlain and some of these guys, and that becomes, but for me, it's Michael Jordan. I feel like his ability to win 3 championships, take a break, come back, win 3 more type thing, just absolutely dominance. And it's pretty crazy. I mean, you think about his story about, you know, how he would get cut from his high school sophomore year or whatever in basketball and those type of things. But I'm a big Michael Jordan fan. I feel like he is the GOAT just based on championships, which is unfortunate because there are a lot of great athletes that don't win championships because they are team sports. But in basketball, I feel like that's probably one of the few pro sports where you get, like, you know what's happened now. The teams
number of rings matter in basketball way more than any other sport. Yep. It's funny, though, when we talk about superpowers and bringing all these teams together. But if you go all the way back to the early 80s, the Lakers and Kareem and Worthy and Magic and the Celtics with Bird and McHale and Parrish and Ainge and Dennis Johnson and whatnot. They all had super teams to win long before Michael, Rodman, Kukoc, Pippen, right? Yep. So, you know, I'm not going to get on LeBron for the decision and doing all that. The question really comes down to is era.
Yeah.
Michael played in the most physical era, could get to the rim and take a beating.
Pistons. Who's
But
going to go through there?
LeBron has been to the finals almost every year of his career, and he's done it in the most skilled era.
Yep.
But the least physical.
For sure.
You know, I lean Michael, and I strictly on he had the killer instinct, and more so than anyone else, more than Kareem, more than Magic, more than Bird. You know, I like Michael for killer instinct, and I think if you put him on the court today, he's just got more of a killer instinct than any of these guys. You know, and the funny thing is that Kevin Durant to me is like the most skilled guy in the league. Yeah. But he just doesn't have the killer instinct of Michael, in my opinion.
Now, do you think, the question to you is, do you think longevity could play into this? In other words, you know, LeBron is, you know, manages his minutes and stuff, which minutes weren't really managed back in the day.
And a more physical game.
Absolutely. But if he goes and plays another 3, 4 more years, I mean, he goes into his 40s and then maybe
how's he going to get? He's got to get to some finals, though, again.
Yeah, I know. He does, absolutely. Tough. But that would be the only thing, you know, is if he can come back and if he does win, you know, another, you know, championship or 2 down late and stuff. But I'm actually shocked. I'm surprised he didn't bring in, like, you know, something from Utah either, John Stockton.
Oh, John Stockton.
Man, I mean,
come on, you know.
Just a homer from Utah here, just everything
we
Utah,
know Michael shoved off Byron Russell.
Oh, man.
You know, that's it was a clear shove off. Utah wins that championship. But, you know, how about savviest, though? If you're talking all those guys, Larry Bird has to be the savviest basketball player ever, with Kobe as a really close second.
Absolutely. Well, and, you know, man, think about when you talk about those superpower teams, it feels like recently in the last decade or two, it's really been one team. You know, we had, you know, Golden State going on their run, and then you had the Lakers, and then you had, you know, kind of LeBron with the Heat and stuff. Back in the day, man, you'd have 2 superpowers, and they would always meet each other. I mean, the Celtics and Lakers. I mean,
Celtics, Lakers, Sixers.
Yeah.
Early 80s.
Yeah.
Celtics, Lakers, Pistons.
Late night.
You know, it's interesting. So we want to hear from you, Michael, LeBron, Larry Bird, North Dakota, or other, I guess, right?
I put other, yeah.
Who's the GOAT of NBA basketball all time? And next week, we'll hit football. Do we do that offense and defense separate? Do we do it all together?
Well,
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
Let us know in the comments on football. How do we want to do that?